It's something we all experience. It can come from conflict in our relationships, our health, our finances, our schools or workplace. It's all around us, and we all want to know what is the best way to deal with the stress in our lives. So we're going to ask a nutritional neuroscientist, Dr. Delia McCabe, how to deal with stress in our lives. Welcome, Delia. Let's start with, what is stress?
Well, look, there's good stress that gets us up in the morning, that keeps us motivated and working towards our goals. Otherwise, we just stay in bed and do nothing. Bad stress, however, is the kind of stress that leaves us feeling overwhelmed. We feel like we can't cope with our lives. We feel like we don't have enough time. Things just feel overwhelming and really just push us down. That's the kind of stress that many people are experiencing today, because we do live in a very complex and very challenging world.
How does our brain deal with stress?
Well, firstly, Gary, the stress response is only supposed to last for between 30 to 60 seconds because it was designed to get us away from a threat, like a tiger, very, very quickly. And look, in that space of time, the tiger either ate us and we didn't need the response anymore, or otherwise we got away and we could relax again. So the brain is highly tuned to pick up a threat, get glucose into our muscles so that we can either fight or run away. Unfortunately, the stress we're dealing with today is psychological. There's very seldom a physical threat like a tiger. So we've got the slow burn of adrenaline and cortisol, our stress hormones, that bathe our neurons and continuously undermine us because it affects how we respond to the world from an emotional perspective. It drains our energy, and we also need nutrients to be able to make all this adrenaline and cortisol, which undermines our health and stops us from feeling energetic and stops us from being able to fall asleep at night and feel calm and relaxed.
How does stress affect what we eat?
When people are stressed, they naturally gravitate to highly refined foods. Why? Because those kinds of foods give us a quick hit in energy and also allow the body to produce endogenous opioids, which calm us down for a period of time. Not a long time, just a little bit of time. So people gravitate to those kinds of foods because it becomes a habitual response. What happens then? Then we've got blood glucose that's going up and down. That affects the brain because the brain needs a stable supply of energy. What happens as well? We feel less energy naturally. So we keep on going back to those kinds of foods, and that affects our sleep. So there's this very negative, vicious cycle that goes on when we feel stressed all the time. If we don't take hold of that stress, this vicious cycle continues and we end up with type 2 diabetes, cardiovascular disease, and ultimately dementias like Alzheimer's, because the brain cannot cope with this ongoing bathing of these very toxic stress hormones.
So what is the best way for us to deal with stress?
One of the best ways is for people to be very clear about what their values are. You know, when we know what our values are, we're not trying to do 1,000 things at once. We're only prioritizing those things that really matter. One of the challenges with today is that we are expected to, and we believe we have to do everything and be everything. It's not possible. So when we've got our values very clearly in our mind, we prioritize what really serves us, and we can forget about all the things we can't control, which is where a lot of stress comes from.
Delia, you've shared some valuable information with us today. Thank you so very much. If you would like to know more about the best way to handle stress, then I'd like to recommend the free gift we have for you today. It's the popular booklet, The Huge Physical and Mental Cost of Stress. Just go to our Incredible Journey website, tij.tv, or scan the QR code on the screen to request your free e-copy now.